I'm not lying to you right now, and I mean that in the same way your group chat swears,
We're definitely doing a reunion trip this year.
and then nobody books anything until it's basically Christmas again. Every side hustle video on this platform sounds like a guy trying to convince you a timeshare in a swamp is a smart investment. I get it, you're skeptical. You should be. But stick with me for the next few minutes, because I'm about to show you something that regular people with zero coding experience and zero audience are quietly using to make actual money, while everyone else is still arguing in comment sections about which AI chatbot is the smartest one. Here's what happened. I was scrolling, minding my own business, and I saw a clip of two little cartoon guys racing each other while trying to trap one another in walls. Looked like something a 12-year-old made in an afternoon. That clip had over 5 million views. I checked the channel. Barely any subscribers. I checked the game. It looked like it took a weekend, tops. And that's when it clicked. This isn't about being a genius game developer. This is about understanding a system. And once you see the system, you can't unsee it. So here's the question I want stuck in your head for the rest of this video. How does a game that looks like it was slapped together in an afternoon end up with millions of views and actual recurring income? I'm going to walk you through the entire 5-step system, start to finish, no skipped steps. But before we touch any tools, you need to understand why most people who try this fail in the first 30 seconds. Because if you get this next part wrong, everything after it collapses. Step 1, find the idea people physically cannot stop playing. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to hear. You do not need a masterpiece. You do not need an 8-hour campaign with a redemption arc and a betrayal twist in Act 3. You need something replayable. Something where losing doesn't feel like the end. It feels like an invitation to run it back immediately. Think about the games actually blowing up in this space right now. They're small. They're looping. They're a little chaotic. Two characters racing each other while sabotaging one another. One round, instant reset, repeat. There's no ending, no credits, no thank you for playing, please rate 5 stars. There's just vibes, mild rage, and the phrase, okay, one more round, said with complete sincerity 40 times in a row. Why does this matter so much? Because a game with a final level has a built-in exit door. The second someone beats it, they close the tab, and you never see them again. A replay loop game has no exit door. It just has again. Here's how you actually find one of these ideas without staring at a blank page for 3 hours. First, do your manual scouting. Head to a platform like Crazy Games and filter by new releases under categories like clicker or local multiplayer. You're not stealing anything. You're doing market research, which is just a professional way of saying, I looked at what's already working before I reinvented the wheel like an idiot. Some of these games are genuinely fun, but poorly marketed. That's your opening. The game already works. It just needs someone who understands promotion, which, conveniently, is exactly what we're about to cover. Second, mind the comments, not just the views. If you find a game or a video in this space doing well, scroll straight to the comments and sort by top. People will tell you, in plain language, exactly what they wish existed. I wish there were more bots. This would be so much better with power-ups. Why isn't there a 2-player mode? Every single one of those complaints is a free feature list somebody handed you for nothing. Third, confirm actual demand before you commit. Search the concept and make sure there are already examples pulling 6-figure view counts. If a genre has zero traction anywhere, that's not you being ahead of the curve. That's usually just a genre nobody wants. Once you've landed on an idea, here's where about 9 out of 10 people quietly sabotage themselves. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the game design. It happens in the 10 minutes right after they get their first working build. I'll show you exactly what that mistake is in a minute. But first, let's actually build the thing, because a strategy session about a game that doesn't exist yet is just procrastination with extra steps. Step 2. Build it without writing a single line of code. You don't need to learn to code for this, and if anyone tells you that you do, they are trying to sell you a coding boot camp. Describe the game the way you'd explain it to a friend at a bar who's had 2 drinks and needs the short version. Who the characters are, what the obstacles are, what makes someone lose, and what makes someone laugh out loud. Feed that description into an AI tool that can actually generate a playable build and deploy it. Not one that just spits out a wall of code you'll stare at helplessly like it's a foreign language. Because it is. Play your first version yourself before anyone else does. It's going to feel like a first date. A little stiff, a little awkward, clearly some potential, but not there yet. That's fine. That's expected. Nobody's first version is the final version, and if it was, every game studio on Earth would be out of a job. Here's the move almost nobody makes. Ask the AI directly. What would make this more addictive and more replayable? Let it suggest actual features, extra bots, difficulty curves, unlockables, daily challenges, whatever it comes up with. Say yes to basically all of it. You're not being lazy, you're being efficient, and there's a difference, even if your mother disagrees. So here's that mistake I promised you. The people who fail aren't failing at building the game. They're failing because they stop at version 1. Version 1 is a rough draft, not a finished product. And treating it like a finished product is like proposing on the first date because the vibes were decent. But let's say your game is actually genuinely fun now. Genuinely, honestly fun. It still means nothing. Zero, nothing, absolutely nada. If not a single human being on planet Earth knows it exists. So how does a game with 0 followers and 0 ad budget actually get in front of real eyeballs? This next part is where it gets fun, and honestly, a little chaotic in the best way. Step 3, prove people actually want this before you spend a single dollar. Do not buy a domain yet. Do not run ads yet. Do not print business cards, please, I'm begging you. First, record yourself actually playing your own creation. Play multiple rounds. Every time something funny happens, a clutch last-second win, a chaotic and undeserved fail, a bot doing something that looks suspiciously like it has a personality disorder, clip it. Then give it the meme treatment. Grab a reaction GIF, drop in a punchy caption, throw a dramatic sound effect right at the perfect beat, and post it like it's the trailer for the biggest release of the year, even though you built it 3 days ago in your pajamas. Stick to 2 platforms to start, TikTok and Instagram Reels. That's genuinely it. Don't build a 17-platform content calendar before a single person has played your game. Overthinking the rollout strategy is how side hustles quietly die in the Notes app, right next to that gym plan from January. Here's how you know it's actually working. People start clicking the link in your bio and playing more than 1 round without you begging them to. That's the real signal, not the view count on the clip. The fact that someone chose, of their own free will, to hit replay. That's the entire ballgame right there. Now here's the part of this video where I usually watch people's eyes glaze over, because it sounds technical. I promise you, it is nowhere near as bad as it sounds. And skipping it is the single biggest reason people never see a cent from any of this. Step 4, host it like you actually own the thing. Once people are genuinely engaging with your clips and clicking through, it's time to get your own clean setup, not some random auto-generated subdomain that looks like it was built during the Obama administration. The process, stripped of all the jargon, clean up your exported game files so they're not a mess of nested folders, push them to a free code repository, connect that repository to a hosting platform that can deploy it live, and then point a cheap custom domain at the whole thing. Once you've done it a single time, the entire process takes maybe 20 minutes. The first time will feel like assembling furniture without the instruction booklet, and that's normal. If the technical side genuinely isn't your thing, and for a lot of people it isn't, and that's fine, we can't all be everything, this is a completely reasonable job to post on a freelance platform for $10 or $15. Outsourcing the boring mechanical part isn't cheating. It's called delegation, and rich people have been doing it since forever. Once your game is live on your own domain, turn on basic analytics. You want to actually see who's playing, where they're coming from, what device they're on, and, most importantly, whether your TikTok clips are converting into real players or whether people are just watching the clip and moving on with their lives. Once that's set up, you officially own the entire pipeline. The game, the traffic, the data, all of it. Nobody can take that away from you. Unlike, say, that reunion trip the group chat definitely planned. Now we get to the part you've genuinely been sitting here waiting for this whole time. How any of this actually turns into money in your account. Step 5, turn playtime into payday. Here's a mistake I see constantly. People wait around for approval from one specific ad network before doing anything, while real traffic is showing up to their game and generating exactly $0 in the meantime. That's just leaving money on the table out of pure patience. There are ad platforms built specifically for this exact gap. Easier approval processes, no massive built-in audience required, and totally fine to run alongside or instead of the big network while you wait. You verify ownership of your site, set up an ad placement, drop in a bit of code, and now there's a quick ad breather that pops up naturally between rounds, quietly doing its job in the background while you go live your life. And there's your full loop, start to finish. Find the idea, build the rough version, prove people actually want it, own the whole pipeline, then monetize it properly. Almost nobody makes it past step 1, and it's not because step 1 is hard, it's because step 1 is the only part that requires an actual decision instead of just following a checklist. Now, for the scale up, don't leave yet, this is genuinely the best part. Once you've got one game working, actually earning, actually being played, do not stop there. Here's how you take this from fun little side project to, wait, is this actually a business now? Go mobile. A web game that's already proven itself is absolutely worth turning into an App Store and Google Play version. Mobile unlocks rewarded ads, the kind where a player watches a short ad to get a second chance or unlock something. And those pay noticeably better than a static banner sitting on a web page feeling sad about itself. Let your players promote it for you. Add a simple feature to your homepage, something like an Earn Money button, where players can record themselves playing, post the clip, and if it actually pulls real, verifiable engagement, you cut them a percentage. They get paid to have fun doing something they were already going to do anyway. You get free, authentic marketing from people who actually enjoy the product. Everybody wins, except whoever's still trying to make dropshipping work in 2026. Build a whole arcade, not just one game. Once you've got a handful of these running, put them all behind one shared home screen so people can bounce between them. One game underperforms? Doesn't matter. Leave it there, it's not hurting anything. One becomes the surprise breakout hit. Now it's dragging traffic toward the entire platform, and suddenly you're not that guy with one game. You're running an actual portfolio. So here's where we land, all the way back to that clip that started this whole thing. It was never about building the next award-winning blockbuster. It was about building something small, slightly chaotic, and replayable enough that people genuinely cannot help themselves, and then structuring the business underneath it so every single replay quietly puts a little money in your pocket while you're doing literally anything else. If you're actually going to try this, tell me in the comments what kind of game you're thinking about building. I read every single one, I promise. And I love seeing people actually take the first step instead of just watching another video about taking the first step. And if you want the full toolkit next, every prompt, every tool, every step laid out exactly, that's coming very soon. Don't be like the guy still deciding whether to text his situationship back at 1 a.m. Just go build the thing.